when it's not there, what is there?
If sex is looked at like a chore in your relationship, find a way to change it. If you can't change that, find a way to change your relationship.
Not just a chore, though. If you see yourself fighting over it all the time, if someone's like begging you for it all the time and it's annoying you, or if it's, you're begging for it all the time and it's annoying you, it's just like something's gotta be fixed, I guess. And there's a lot of things you could do to fix it.
You are my paradise, I can't deny. You make me high. You are my paradise, I can't deny. You make me high. You are my paradise.
Hey guys, as much as I hate to ask this, please like and subscribe our content.
It actually helps more than you know.
Yeah. Interact with it, comment. We'll try to comment back.
Yeah, definitely leave comments
and feedback, whatever we could do to improve anything. So
yeah.
Again, it helps more than you could imagine, and I've always seen people ask stuff like this. I never really taken into consideration until now how important it actually is. So
it is.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support. Take care. Bye. All right. Welcome to episode 5 of the Matt and Monica podcast. We got goofballs here that are
trying to make her calm down and relax, but she doesn't know what she wants.
This episode is going to be primarily based off of the idea of just getting off your ass, because I think that's something that we all do. We like to rationalize being lazy as fuck.
We are all lazy at some point.
Yeah.
And a lot of chunks in our lives.
Yep.
I think we all get really lazy. I get like that, definitely. Mm-hmm. And you're a good motivation for me to go do something.
You're a good motivation for me. And, I noticed back at the beginning of the summer, I think I hit 234. And I saw that number. I'm like, man, I noticed my pants are getting a little tighter to the extent I almost need to move up a size. I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I already moved up a pant size, 36 years old. That's one of those things that I think generally people sometimes think just, oh yeah, it happens. You get older, you gain weight.
Or you get unhealthy and you just don't work out anymore.
Or maybe when you get older, you need to put a little bit more effort into.
It's probably harder to lose weight when you get older, as I hear, so.
I don't know. It took me, I just cut I made one better decision every day about what I ate. And I've cut down 25 pounds. And granted, people say, oh, it seems like you're always doing so much together. You guys are always working out. No.
We don't really work out all the time. I mean, you've been really, really good about it. With the heavy bag and stuff, you've been really good.
Yeah, but still only maybe 3-4 days a week.
But that's better than 0 days a week.
No, it is. But there's a lot of people that they really push the idea. You got to be active 7 times a day. You got to get up before work. And I'm too lazy for that. I could do it. But.
That's a good point to bring up. Just 15 minutes a day. Just do something for 15 minutes. Put your phone down and walk outside. Run outside. I don't know, just anything. And people are always like, oh, I don't have time.
Yes. Yeah, we were talking about this last night. How many people they'll be like, I really don't have time.
You kind of do.
How much time do you spend on your phone in bed at night before you finally turn over and go to sleep? Because I know I'm guilty of sitting on my phone before I fall asleep. And you cut 15 minutes out of that. Mm-hmm. You invest it in your body, especially if you're going through stress. We were watching a pretty interesting podcast, the Diary of the CEO, I believe it's called, and pretty awesome dude. And he really
had an amazing guest.
Yes. I don't remember her name, but she was some sort of doctor that just was real as
so down to earth, and you just connected with her and she talked to him, and when we were watching her, you just felt like, wow, she knows what she's talking about. And it was such more on a not doctor level, it was more of a friend level, where I just felt really oh
really connected.
Yeah. It was amazing.
She talked about, the releasing, when you sweat, I want to say cortisone. Cortisol, yeah, whatever it is, it's in stress that causes you to perspirate and
it's like the stress in your body when you sweat, you actually get rid of it.
Yep. And I noticed over the summer, I'm like, man, going through a pretty, I feel like a broken record, going through a kind of challenging year, and I noticed exercising in my body odor smelled so different. All the time I was saying something to her. I'm like, man, I feel like I smell
like this today, and this day it smells like this. But it's like when you're going through your most stressful points, maybe it's like when you mention it.
Yeah.
And that it smelled different.
But it's almost a complete cure to your stress by working out. And that the problem is when you're going through difficult times, I think that's the hardest time to really find the motivation to get off your ass and do stuff. But
it is.
If you're able to go for a walk, even, if you can't run, whatever, go for a walk.
That's kind of double though, because you're out working out. Walking is great, step. If you can't run or do heavy lifting and everything, walking is amazing. But you're also, if you can do it outside, you're with Mother Nature, so you're getting the workout and Mother Nature, which will help you.
You have to get your heart rate up though. You got to get cardio in. People are so scared. Like, I don't know how many people I heard. Oh, I don't like sweating. Like, okay,
that's what we do.
Yeah,
they're supposed to sweat.
How many people do you know that they haven't had their heart rate up to an elevated level other than doing certain strenuous activities? People just sit around and they go their multiple decades without ever getting any sort of cardio. Yeah. We're not meant for that.
And it's not like you have to go run a 10-mile marathon. Like, if you just, speed walk at first, maybe, and then you'll work your way up to running. And I think you will surprise yourself. I think in our last podcast, I said, I could run a mile, but I stopped 5 different times. But then you see, I can run a little bit farther without stopping. And then you run a little bit farther without stopping. Yeah. And it makes you feel good just doing that. And
makes me feel worse, though, when I see her progress. And then
sometimes I'm like, right by you. I'm like, catch up.
Yeah, it's just a hard day. I've always been quite a bit better runner than her over the years, and all of a sudden it's slowly she caught up, and then. But
it's kind of cool because I know that you could run way harder and faster than me. You're bigger strides and everything. So I kind of try to run a little bit faster to keep up with you, but I know you run a little bit slower to let me stay up with you.
That's my excuse.
Right?
Yeah. No, it's pretty crazy though. In the past 7 years, how much better you've gotten at running.
Oh yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It's one of those things that I think we both hated.
Yeah.
Even when we first started running together, I was still at the point where I'm like, every time it was a lot of work. But
I never really could tell because you always were like, let's go. And I'm like, okay. But then I'm so glad that you made me do it.
Actually, probably not a bad idea to talk about antidepressants. I don't see anything wrong with that.
No. That's actually really...
So, yeah, that's a really good idea. So, when we first started dating, she was taking...
Cymbalta.
Yeah.
And I was taking it for a few years before we met.
5 years, I think.
Is it 5 years?
Yeah. I did a lot of research and, not to be like, a new boyfriend in a relationship come across as controlling, but I'm very antidepressants. I'm a firm believer that if doctors and the society were to push the idea of, hey, eat better and exercise, that's an antidepressant within itself.
Well, I think life, like nature and everything, and what we're supposed to do, it's there for you already.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to have the fake drugs and everything thrown in our bodies.
There is a time and place. I don't want to knock that. But...
Right. Well, I will say though, when I was taking it at first, it really did help me. Mm-hmm. But then it kind of got to okay, it helped me. And then it kind of was just and I became a zombie, and I was just no emotion.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't getting anxiety and the racing thoughts and everything and depression, that's what it was there for. It was all right, something needs to happen now because I wasn't me.
Not only that, but I remember when we first started dating and she was actively taking the Cymbalta. I remember her kids or something along those lines of just acting a certain way to her, and she had almost no reaction. I just remember being
what is going on? It's not normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I did a lot of research on how to wean off of it and whatnot, and it's not simple. And
no, because I don't think people realize it's not just, let's pop the pills and feel better. It's if you want to stop doing it, you can't just stop.
There's a lot of people that I read online because I'm like, come on, is it really that hard? But
that's what I kind of thought too.
Yeah. And then we did the bean counting where you cut down the.
Yeah, so in a capsule of Cymbalta, there's little tiny itty bitty like beads in there, little white round beads, and there's like I don't even know how many is in there, like 200 or something. And what you're supposed to do is wean yourself off of it. I think you can have like seizures and stuff if you quit cold turkey. And arrow. Anyway, so you have to count them, break the capsule apart, count them, and maybe do like half of them, and then for
Was
like
it like
your
two
week.
two pieces a day you're supposed to cut out of it or something like that?
I don't really remember, but I remember reading a lot about it, and it was really, really hard for people to stop taking that. For me, I felt like it was okay. It took me like a month or so, right?
Yeah, so it was less than a month you just got off of it after being on it for 5
Yeah,
years. And
so-
I don't remember how many milligrams it was, but
Gosh, I don't even remember either. But
I
I
just
was
remember-
actually taking 2 different milligrams, so I was taking 2 pills at one time.
I remember you
Yeah.
were talking about how weird you felt when you stopped taking it. And then I did research thinking, come on, she's...
Yeah,
Because
so
we weren't together that long, and then I read other people's experience on it,
yeah.
and you were telling me how you felt about brain zaps and other things. Arrow.
So it's weird because if I didn't take it for one day, say I like didn't get my refill or whatever, I didn't take it for one day. I remember my boss being like, Monica, I can tell when you didn't take it. And that's like probably less than 24 hours where I didn't take it. I definitely felt different when I didn't take it. I could tell when I didn't take it.
Yeah.
And that was kind of scary that it controlled you that much.
Mm-hmm.
It is very scary. And I don't want to also say, like you said a minute ago, we're not saying anything like, oh, people shouldn't take antidepressants or anything to help them, because some people do need them. Some people need them for a short time. I think it's important to not get dependent on it for your entire life.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if you are able to. And let me tell you, I feel completely more human without it.
Yeah, you
It's
actually have
really-
some emotion to you. 'Cause
Yeah.
I remember there were times where you were acting like everything's fine, and I was like,
Or like when I should get angry, I didn't get
Yeah.
angry. When I should have gotten sad, I didn't get sad. And probably happy.
Yeah.
If I didn't get as happy as I obviously do now, because I get happy like over like little stuff, I
Mhm.
wouldn't be like that now. So to relate that to working out and eating healthy, I mean, I think just, you'll like, let's go for a run. I'm like, all right, let's go. And most of the time when I'm feeling the most like I don't want to go is my best run, and I feel the best when I'm done.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's weird. It's weird.
It's not though, because you hear everywhere you listen to anybody talk about physical exercise and anxiety and depression, all this shit. Everybody says you feel better afterwards, and there's never been a
Definitely.
time that there's been times where I don't feel completely better. You get a lot of shit going on. Doesn't mean I'm going to go for a run. All your
Everything's
problems are
not
gone.
fixed, right?
Yeah,
But a little bit is better than nothing.
correct.
And even if it's not like solving world's problems, it's in your mind for the day.
Yep.
It's making you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
It's so important.
And I think that's helped us with our dogs. I feel like we use the shit out of our dogs for this podcast. But
they're
we,
so cute.
we went hiking yesterday, and I'm thinking to myself, like, even if we hated every second of it, like, the dogs were so happy.
It was
like,
so cold, but to them,
Rationalize
fine,
getting the fuck off your ass to get your kids outside to do something,
Yeah.
And I say to my teenage kids, I'm like, do me a favor, like, anytime you ask me to go do something with you, like some sort of physical activity, I will never turn it down unless I'm really sick, and you may be adding years to my life. you don't really
memories.
know. Yeah,
Definitely memories. I love doing stuff like when we go for hikes with them. It's like my favorite memories.
Yeah. How
fun.
many memories are taken away because of, I know I mentioned this last time, not trying to be repetitive, but like electronics.
Yeah.
And that's such a major thing. I think I should probably hit on that in a lot of episodes. Like electronics, I'm a huge gamer. At least I used to be. I still kind of am, depending on the game, but
You're not like you used to be. Even when we first started dating, you don't do it that often.
Yeah.
Not like you used to
I miss
be.
it though. World of Warcraft, that was a huge.
Well, when I was
World of
younger, I played a lot of video games.
Not like
Well, I wouldn't. No, not like you. No, not like you at all. But I played.
That was my drug.
Yeah.
Everybody has their things. Like mine was
Mhm.
at the time World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
I was a World of Warcraft nerd. Yeah. And I miss it. I miss a lot of my friends from that game and stuff. It was.
The thing is like you could play it now every
Nope.
now and then. No, okay, never mind.
There's,
Why?
It's either all or nothing. I can't.
Okay. So it is like a drug. It's like you can't start it.
No, if I do anything, I want to be really good at it. I don't want to just be like a casual player. I can't do that.
All right, so if you start it, you need to play the entire game the best you can until it's done, until you beat everything. Anybody
that's listening to you say like, "Oh, play the entire game," everyone's shaking their head like,
"Oh, okay." Well, I don't really know. I guess
it's there's no end to the game. It's not like that.
How is there no end?
I feel bad.
It sounds really fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they constantly add content.
Oh, okay. So it's not like, oh, you did all these bosses and then you do the main boss at the end and then you won the whole game. It's not like that.
No.
Oh. Okay.
So.
Yeah. So people are always like, oh, you guys are so active. You do so much and you're always doing stuff for the kids. And really, I feel like it's just normal. I feel like
we could do better. We'd absolutely do better.
We definitely do better.
Yeah. But if you look at every single day like that, you could do every single day a little bit better, be a little bit more active, give your kids a little bit more attention, rather than focusing on stuff that matters for you. Like,
right.
Oh,
yeah. Man. But I'm just trying to like throw out ideas for people when they're like, oh, what should we do in the summer and in the winter?
Doesn't cost money.
You can go hiking, and I'm not mean like a huge mountain. I mean Green Lakes. It's one small loop or a big loop. They do have, it's not hiking up on like the.
It's like a 3-mile loop.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's just, it's not like a mountain, but it's a good walk for you, your kids, and stuff like that.
My mom and dad could do Green Lakes, the loop. It's nothing. There's no excuse.
There really isn't. But
yesterday, it was freezing out. It was 30 degrees with wind. Guess what?
We went anyway. It was cold, but then
it's beautiful.
But then the sun kind of came out, and it actually warmed up a little bit, and I was so thankful that we went. The dogs loved it. That's what mattered. But there's always waterfalls to go to, little hikes. I just think that's like really fun. Or taking your kids to the playground,
Mm-hmm.
Little stuff like that. I used to go to the playground all the time. All the time.
And the importance of boredom, I think everybody's got to have kids that are constantly engaged doing something like, oh, Mom, can I play your phone? Mom, can I have my tablet? Like, how about no, be bored, draw, read. Holy crap. God forbid.
You saying being bored is actually good for you.
Yeah.
It is. Your kids can be bored and they can sit there and look at the wall if they want to, but they're thinking about stuff, I guess. But it is important to be bored. Use your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Kids have an imagination that they don't know that they have nowadays, and it's sad.
Yeah. What if we talk about discipline? Is that a weird subject to talk about? And I don't mean discipline like physical. I'm just saying like.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like
sure, why not?
You have parents that will have their kids. The kids tell them what they're eating for dinner, and it makes me lose my freaking mind. I'm gonna say, if you're a parent that allows your kid to dictate what they eat, you are a part of the problem to society. Like, and I mean that. Like,
well, it's just like, I don't know why it's different now. Back in the day, you only had so much, so the kids had to eat dinner, else they probably wouldn't eat, So
regardless, like, even if you have unlimited food,
right.
Like, teaching people appreciation, not taking things for granted, and a balanced nutrition, like, God forbid.
Yeah, not cereal every night, ramen noodles every night.
Chicken tenders, grilled cheese.
Yeah, and that's it. Like,
yeah, that was actually. Did I talk about that on our other podcast? Like,
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going into detail of a negative thing, but
it's okay.
When we first started dating, I remember like there being a Thanksgiving dinner, I was like, it's beautiful, there's a whole spread, and then. Yeah. I remember you looking at the kids, which, again, we were only together for a couple months. I just remember you just saying, all right, would you guys want a grilled cheese? And I was like, hold up.
Yeah.
There's hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of food here.
Yeah.
What's wrong with this food? And I think that's the thing, though. A lot of parents, they just do that. They're gonna take the easy way.
Right.
Give their kids away.
It's easy. And a lot of parents do that. And I give props to the parents that don't do that. Because it's, whatever's on the table is what you should eat.
Yeah. We were just talking to somebody recently, like, yeah, man, when I was a kid, it's like you eat all your damn dinner, you sit there until you don't.
Yeah, that's
Now,
how I was raised.
yeah, that's how, you know,
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
not like I can't finish it. So, it's okay. Put it in a plastic container, put it in the fridge, and then never eat it again.
Yeah.
It's like we are not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And so much food is thrown away in so many households. It's such a waste, and it's sad because that stuff should not be thrown away at all. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, a lot of parents are like, "Oh, here's your tablet while you eat dinner, while you eat your grilled cheese for the millionth time this week because it's all you want to eat." What about the fruits and vegetables? Well, a lot of kids are so unhealthy now.
Yeah, not even talking about kids, but people in general.
Yeah, but it's like what you buy and put in your home is what you and your family is going to eat. So it has to start with whoever does the grocery shopping, you know.
I recently said to her, I'm like, because she generally does the grocery shopping.
Mm-hmm.
I will too. You know, it's not a sexist thing. But I said to her recently, I'm like, listen, I'm like, stop buying shit. Stop buying junk food. Stop buying. And she likes to.
For the record, though, I buy junk food and healthy food.
No,
I buy all of it. But you just wanted me to not buy so much junk food.
Yeah, because in the middle of the night when I'm like, man, I kind of want to get a snack, the first thing I would do is go for the shitty stuff. And if that stuff's not there, you either don't eat or you eat something that's healthy.
Right, exactly.
And it's like out of sight, out of mind. Has a lot of power to it.
It definitely does.
And people don't realize how much better you feel when you eat better. Like, if you're drinking soda every day, like, the amount of times, like, I'll see people at my place of employment, I'll see people anywhere, and, like, I'm like, you probably don't need it. I don't mean to be judgmental, but you don't need to be drinking soda every day. Like, if you have an issue with your weight and you're drinking 100% sugar on a regular basis, or...
That's the thing, though. So with soda, energy drinks, and sugary, Dunkin' Donuts coffee, which is more sugar than coffee and stuff every day, and people are complaining about their weight or their health. That's a big sign. Maybe you should change that.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but one of the biggest points I've ever experienced in my life that people need to fucking hear, and it's here too.
Yeah.
People that have issues that they're well aware of, for example, their weight.
Yeah.
If you're going to bitch and be insecure about your weight and put no effort into changing your weight, shut the fuck up. Like, if you're going to be insecure and you're going to put no effort into it, just do something about it. It's so easy. And we all have the choice every day.
We all have the choice. And we all have the choice when someone feels like they're insecure because of their weight or their job. Their, I don't know, anything. I don't really know any other examples, but stuff that we can change, and people complain about that stuff, but then there's no effort into anything. That drives me insane.
People will be the first to blame everything else out of their control, stuff that's factors that don't matter whatsoever.
Right.
So much is in your complete control, and it's beyond me how people just have no self-control anymore.
And that's like this entire world.
Yeah.
And the world wants people to be weak like that. And that is being weak to me. It takes strength and discipline and effort to do it. And I know it's hard. But you have to find that somewhere deep inside yourself and get over that hump. It
goes back to what we said in our last podcast. Like, people want results, but they don't want to put any effort into, like, here, where's the easy button?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pay $500 for this end result, but am I going to give you 15 minutes of my time?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
But I feel like stuff like that, if you can get an end result with just spending money and no effort, there's something bad in there somewhere. Something bad's going to happen. You don't get shit like that in your life with no effort and have repercussions, I guess.
If you're cheating through life, and I don't care how it is, I think there's an equal and opposite reaction for everything. And if there's a cheating way out of, for example, actually, I'm not going to give an example. So you could apply that to literally anything.
Right. You're such a nerd. So
And we were going to talk about this because we don't want to hit on the whole like sexual talk type thing, mainly because we have kids. We would love to go on that topic.
It'd be fun.
Oh my god!
And people would probably relate or get some insight.
People,
shit, like, oh.
I've heard people downplay sex my entire life, like it's not important. And like, let me tell you what, exercise, and if you can find a better way to connect to your person, good luck.
Yeah, so that is like, I swear, like 90% of the relationship. Okay, maybe that's a lot, but it really, really is. If that's like shit, then you're like, what are you doing?
Remember the last time we were having a podcast and we were like, oh, people are gonna be fighting tonight.
Yeah, this is gonna be another one.
How many people fight about sex all the time?
Yeah,
I can't imagine.
It's really sad because I feel like when you're with someone, you should want them and you want them to want you, and then when it's not there, what is there?
If sex is looked at like a chore in your relationship, find a way to change it. If you can't change that, find a way to change your relationship.
Not just a chore, though. If you see yourself fighting over it all the time, if someone's like begging you for it all the time and it's annoying you, or if it's, you're begging for it all the time and it's annoying you, it's just like something's gotta be fixed, I guess. And there's a lot of things you could do to fix it. I just think if that connection there is like fried and there's nothing there, then you can still love someone. You can still like their company and everything. But I feel like it's such a big chunk of a relationship that I just feel like it's really important.
Yeah. And I feel like generally when you're typically a guy, you're looked at as like, oh yeah, that's expected to have that mindset.
Oh, he's such a pig. He just wants to do it all the time. Yeah. But it's like that one, the podcast we saw the other night about, I don't think she specifically was talking about that, but she was talking about the touch and the feel and the cuddling. It's super the connection with your partner.
Yeah, in this podcast again, it was on the Diary CEO. Yeah. And this woman he had on there, she was talking about how before her husband left for work, she was dead asleep, and she had a heart monitoring device and stuff. Again, she's a doctor. Yep. And she talked about the difference in her levels of the device. When she was being monitored, it jumped when her husband kissed her when she was sleeping. And that's another thing, it goes back to that unconditional, like love, like, because I don't ever really want to kiss her to make her feel good. I kiss her because I fucking want a little bit. But it's because I want to. And, I've always been, that was the way I was brought up. I think it's also really important within obvious limitations. Mm-hmm. Like kids need to see how to act as an adult. And I think when kids see their mom and dad holding hands and they see their mom and dad, or your dad getting home from work and kissing your mom because he's excited to see her. Like
every I was
brought
day.
up, I was brought up to that. And it's annoying. Mom and dad are kissing again. Like,
yeah, but that leaves an impression on their heart. Like they see that and they're happy, and that's love.
Yeah.
And that's so important.
And that's one of those things I took for granted. Like I am one of the few people on this planet that have their parents that have been together forever. And
yeah, you're lucky.
I respect my parents for that, because I'm sure they fought battles that I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, because I don't even know the percentage of divorced couples now, but I guarantee it's more people are divorced than they are married. Well, let's see you, miss. Yeah.
You have a couple notes here.
I do.
Sleep. Obviously.
Oh, we want to get on to that subject. Sleep. Okay. I need my sleep. I love my sleep, and if I'm disturbed, I get very
You're disturbed.
Upset.
Just kidding.
Maybe a little bit. No, I definitely need my sleep, and I think it's a proven fact women need more sleep than men.
Sounds sexist to me.
I think it's a proven
fact.
Wait.
If it's going this direction, it's not sexist. It's only sexist if it comes this direction.
No, I think that is a fact. I think it is. Anyway, going back to that podcast we watched, we need to get a lot of sleep to get our brain to flush itself, which I know sounds weird, but it's like just a cleansing. but you need like 9 hours of sleep to get it.
She didn't say 9 hours. She said 8 hours and 15 minutes.
8 hours and 15 minutes. Okay. And
she's like, 12 hours.
That'd be nice.
She would sleep 12 hours all day long.
So you get your brain has to flush, but it needs that amount of time from start to finish to complete its cycle. And most of us don't get that in reality. And some people want to just try to get, 4 to 5 hours, maybe 6 hours of sleep a night. And if they can function off of that, cool. But she was saying just like for the human body, that's the amount of time that it will need from start to finish. I think to feel good, to feel like rejuvenated the next day and stuff.
I was thinking in my ADD mind about a conversation that we recently had with somebody, speaking of relationships and stuff. And we had a good friend of ours. I've gotten this more than once. A good friend of ours said to us, like, he can only take us in small doses because this individual is not in a relationship. And the relationship this individual was in was not similar to ours by any means. They're more like acquaintances, it sounds like. But he said hanging out with us is kind of depressing because it's like what they aspire to wish they could find in a relationship. And that's kind of a weird thought. It's like, are there people that don't want to hang out with us because we
annoy them because of that?
Yeah. And we're not always all clingy all over each other and all this crap all the time, 24/7. We're really not. Although I can see if anybody's having a difficult relationship, it's going to be hard hanging out with us, I feel like.
But I feel like people get in this mindset where they're never going to find someone. I thought I wasn't ever going to find anybody.
Keep talking. I'm going to grab another drink.
I thought I was going to be alone for my entire life. And you probably felt that too, babe.
Yeah.
I could see you. People can't get like that though. I mean, they can, but I feel like you need to have a mindset. Be positive. There's someone out there for everyone. I really, really do believe that. And most of the time, and I know people probably have heard it before, that if you look for it, you're not going to find it. You have to let it just kind of fall in your lap. And I want to say when we were on Tinder, we were clearly looking for it, but I was kind of done. And I do remember when you wrote, when I wrote to you or whatever, we wrote to each other and I was like, I'm done. I'm deleting Tinder. I'm getting off of it. I'm like over all of this shit. So let's talk on Facebook if that's what we want to do. And so that's what I did. We got off of, you have a funny face. Like, you want to say something?
No, I was like, you got off it. I stayed on for a long time. Just kidding.
Yeah. So anyway, I think we became friends on Facebook or whatever. I deleted Tinder because I was literally you were like my last one.
Yeah, you were my only one.
And okay, such a nerd. Stop it. So I don't know. I think people need to realize that you will find your person. You just have to keep faith. Manifest it. I manifested the shit out of you.
Yeah, you did.
I did. I really, really did. What?
Nothing.
Damn. Them off by you.
Yes, tequila. Some 1800. Pretty good. Yeah.
I think if people are religious and spiritual, or if you're not, it doesn't matter. I think whatever you feel in your heart.
Spirituality is...
I find myself spiritual.
So we had a discussion about this where I hate, and I'm sorry if this is you, I hate the idea of pushing religion on anybody else. Like, let people do their own thing. Let people believe what they want to believe. Yeah,
it's kind of like, don't go door to door and recruit people.
I don't know. Just think religion, politics, all that shit. Like, that's
one thing we don't really want to talk about on here is religion, politics, any of that
like
stuff.
You believe and you do whatever you got to do. Your sexuality, we don't care. Like,
where floats your boat.
You know what? I said the word gay. I was sitting down with someone recently, and I was explaining a situation. I called it gay, and I'm like, and the person called me out and said, "Oh, you shouldn't say that," and this person's not gay. And like, I got a lot of gay friends, and like, we throw that word around left and right, and it's okay. And I just thought about that. That's
yeah, I think it all depends on I don't know. There's certain words you just shouldn't say, and there's certain words that I think people get very, very offended against. Which
It's 2023. People are offended by literally anything they can be offended by.
Yes,
and like, this should be the least offensive podcast on the planet because we literally love everybody, every race, every sexuality. My friends
always pick on me, and they're like, "Why do you just love?" And that is it. Like, why can't more people just love? It's good. It feels good. It's happiness.
Yeah.
It's this whole world should be about love.
Yeah.
Not hatred. Not comparison. Not.
Comparison's dangerous. That's huge.
Comparison is the thief of joy. And I say that all the time because it's so true. Because if you're comparing yourself or what you have or anything with anything else, that's negative. It's going to bring you down.
Because you're not anybody else, you're yourself. And that's actually probably one of the most powerful things I've learned this year was like being okay with who you are. And like,
it takes a lot of training yourself to believe that.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work.
It's taken me a lot of work.
Well, how old are you now?
36.
You know? Exactly.
It's taken me 36 years.
And we try to teach our kids to love yourself. You're amazing how you are. And they're not any older than 18.
Mm-hmm.
And you're 36, and you just learned that.
Yeah, that's one of those things I try to instill in my kids. I look at myself as like a time machine where I'm like, man, if I could have somebody that would go back in time and tell me, hey, this is secret to life.
Yeah.
And like, granted, I don't know the actual secrets of life, but I can give some pretty damn good advice of things that I wish I knew when I was 14, 15, 16.
So it's kind of like the whole thing when your parents are like, well, when I was younger, blah, 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 or I learned this, I wouldn't do that, and all that kind of crap. And the kids, when you're young, you still go out and do whatever you do because you kind of need to learn from your own experiences. But then you kind of come back and you're like, wow, mom was right, or wow, dad was right. It's because we went through it.
Yeah.
And we're trying to warn you or help you and stuff. But we do know that you need to go through your own shit. We all have to go through our own shit to learn it.
Yeah.
Your own life experiences, and that it's just the way of life, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How many experiences have we went through? And like, since I've known you, we've been through.
Or how about since we didn't know each other, those experiences that we both went through to when we were together and all those experiences that we went through.
That's actually a really good point. You say things and it brings my mind to a different place. Mm-hmm. Like, I was not the same person I was.
I know you were.
I was not the same person I was before I met you as to where I am now.
Same.
Like, I don't think I was bad. I could have been a fucking hell of a lot better though.
Yeah, but I could never see you being horrible or bad before I even knew you existed. I can't see that.
I just think anybody that's doing deceitful, morally wrong things just because they can get away with it, like that's
pretty sneaky.
Yeah.
It's really shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where I was not okay with ever doing things like that, but I don't know. I got out of my comfort zone, which was being a decent person, and thought I could get away with things. And
I feel like when people are in relationships and they do stuff like that, you're clearly like something's wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought you were going somewhere else and saying like, "Oh, you shouldn't be in a."
No, I'm not saying that. Like something's wrong in a relationship. You're clearly not 100% happy, and I feel like if people are going to do deceitful things when you're in a relationship, something's wrong. Because if you really love that person, you're really into that person, you would never dream of doing anything like that. I would never dream or even think that I would ever deceive you or do anything behind your back ever. I would never.
I partially agree because even now, like hypothetically, and I'm not saying it would, but if I did something severely wrong, it doesn't change the way I feel about you. I think it changes the way I, at the point in time, thought about my morals. And
I disagree with that. I do. That's one thing I just think is not. I think if someone does something behind someone's back or someone cheats and stuff, they don't give a shit.
I think people make mistakes.
I think if people cheat, they're not. I'm not saying they don't care about you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they don't. There's a little piece of them that does care about you. They don't love you like they should. If you're in a relationship and someone cheats, I think it's so fucked up and disgusting that it's just such a. I think it's wrong, and I think if you're in a relationship, you don't love that person.
There's got to be people like, didn't he cheat on you before?
It's absolutely disgusting, and I will never rationalize what you did.
No, I agree. I agree 100%.
Disgusting. I think it's such shitty behavior. I what?
No, I agree. I agree with mostly what you said, but
I've never cheated on anybody. Never cheated on anybody.
And I've said for 8 years, going on 8 years, you are a better person than me.
I've been cheated on.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Multiple times. Not by you.
Mm-hmm.
Babe. We are so not going to be able to air this entire podcast.
Yeah, we can. Absolutely. Yeah, we 100% can. I wish we could go like unfiltered and just talk about anything.
I know, but we can't.
It would be bomb.
We can't.
Especially if we could talk about things that
we can't because shit would be shit would be on fire right now.
Our kids would no longer talk to us. Actually, our family. I don't know. It would be a lot of people. It would be
people. Okay, a lot of people wouldn't talk to us anymore, but there'd be a lot of other people that would want to talk to us and then want more detail.
Yeah.
For real. Definitely.
No, you're 100% right.
So fucked up. Oh my goodness. Weird to think about, but yeah. Anyway, all our dogs are so happy and cozy. I wish you guys could see them.
We can.
Okay, well. There's a Samus.
Samuel.
Aww. And there's Arrow.
Arrow.
Hi, baby.
Come here. Get over here. Come here. You lay down with me. You cuddle. She's like, I don't like cuddling. Come on.
Aww. Samus.
It's okay.
Are there any other things you want to talk about, babe?
I don't know. This podcast today, I feel like it wasn't really all over. It's kind of all over.
They're all going to be all over because that's me.
That makes it fun, though.
It does.
And it keeps people pulled in, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
And to be honest, even if we try to have one subject in a podcast, the way our brains work, that would never happen. Well, it's like you're telling a story, and it's like,
I have way worse. I get caught on tangents.
Yeah.
Every time I talk. Anybody that knows me right now is like, yeah he does.
Yeah, he doesn't stop talking.
It depends on how much I drink. But.
Oh, man. Interesting podcast tonight.
Anything else you want to cover?
I mean, I could continue talking about everything forever, but I think right now we're at 42 minutes. It's a good time, right? Of chaos.
Let's throw something else in here that we didn't really plan on.
Ooh, tell me what.
I don't have any idea.
Oh, I thought you had an idea.
Subject.
Like any subject, or I think we can kind of stick on relationship. Helping each other do stuff together is better than. Well, gosh, it's so hard because a lot of people are single. So with motivation to get up and do stuff, it's kind of hard. But people have friends. No one is actually alone. There's people out there, and I feel like if people really feel like they're alone,
I got a really good story.
I feel bad.
This is a really good story. This is not that long ago. So
Okay.
I was driving home. Actually, I was driving to a friend's house to a birthday party that I was invited to, way out of the way, for the record. I'm a good friend, though, and I decided to still try to make an appearance. But I had a really hard day for reasons I can't say. But I'm on my way to this birthday party. Just got out of work. It's freezing out. It's raining. It's a bad day. I'm gonna enunciate that probably more than just now. But so I'm driving along. I hit a red light, and I'm sitting there at this red light in my truck, and I'm bumming over my hard day that I had over some news that I got, and I'm bumming pretty hard, harder than I'm gonna lead on to believe in this podcast. But anyway, I look over, and there's a homeless guy standing there, and he's got a sign up Don't really remember what it said. Something, obviously looking for some sort of donation. And I pulled over, and I normally don't give homeless people money. I'm not against it. I just generally don't. And I pull over, and I look through my wallet, and I pull up 50. I'm like, okay, I'm not giving that. So I give him money, and I thanked him. And I thanked this person because I thought my day was really shitty. And it was by the vast majority of people that knew about this day. They'd be like, that sounds like a really hard day. But I wasn't standing in the rain, freezing my ass off homeless. And it strangely put things into perspective for me. And I think it's so important for everybody. If you're going through shit, look around, because there's people. Yeah, it's all perspective. There's people that are going through things that are so much worse than your bullshit. I promise you that.
Thing to say. It really is.
I'm gonna be honest, I had tears streaming down my face when I rolled down my window, and I got a tinted window. So when I rolled it down, like, the guy looked at me like, he looked kind of like caught off guard. He didn't really know what to say, and he probably didn't know what the fuck I meant when I thanked him and I handed him money and he thanked me, and like, he's done. But yeah, it's just.
So the grass is not always greener on the other side too. Like, people sometimes that appear to have all their shit together. Everyone goes through stuff. People that are millionaires that seem like they have everything they could ever want.
Yeah, I don't think that's always. I don't think that's really a grass is greener thing like that. You're right though. I know what you're saying, because I've realized this year, regardless of who you're talking to, if you open up and you make yourself vulnerable to people, and you talk to people, you're gonna find that everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor, lawyer, whatever. Everybody goes through shit, or
they have gone through their shit.
And their issues are their issues, and your issues are your issues.
Again, don't compare.
Mm-hmm. You can't compare whatever you're going through to other people, because, like, granted, there's been many times when people have told me about their issues this year, and I'm like, man, I wish those were my issues.
Yeah.
Like, I truly, truly wish that your life issues were mine, because in perspective, I think, but you can't think like that.
Yeah.
You can't. You can, but it's not going to do you any good thinking, oh, my issues are worse than everybody
But that's
else.
like the whole thing. People are like, oh, be kind to everyone because you don't know what they're going through. And no matter how many times people say that, it's like, oh, it's annoying. People are saying that all the time. But it's kind of true. You don't know what the next person's going through. Someone that's trying to not cry in the store, and you're to help them get something, and that meant a little something to them.
One of Jordan Peterson's podcasts, he talked about like how like you look at somebody driving a Porsche, like, man, I wish I was them, and you don't know if that person driving that Porsche is thinking about wrapping that Porsche around a telephone pole. You don't know. Like,
wow, that's really sad, but it's true.
Some of the most miserable fucking people I've ever known in my entire life were the most successful people. Like, hands down, like, some of the most appreciative people were the least successful people. There's people that work dead-end jobs that do the 9 to 5 or work grave shifts, and regardless if you're fucking doing something where you're working the most dead-end job on the planet, you might be the happiest person.
Yeah.
Like, you might be. And I just wish that was taught in school,
Yeah.
I wish it was taught, like, in school you're taught, like, you got to go to college, you got to do this amount of work and invest this much time in this.
I think the world is changing.
It is.
I think a lot of people are trying to put out there that you don't have to go to college. You can do, like, the trade jobs or whatever they are, or you shouldn't be pushed to do certain things. Yeah, that too. Yeah. Follow your dreams, whatever they are. Don't feel like you can't do it, because you can. It takes effort, a lot of time, a lot of effort, but you definitely can do it.
100%.
But
Well, either way, thank you guys for your attention and your.
Hope you enjoyed tonight's like chaotic, all over the place kind of podcast. It's fun.
Yes. Thank you. You guys have a good night.
Night, guys.